morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. And it is Sunday. It is a beautiful Sunday, nice and warm here in South Florida. And the big news, of course, Brian, is the mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six. Any guesstimates today?
Well, they sent it in last Sunday. We can't thank everybody enough. It's going to be a big day, $400,000 or $500,000 maybe in this estimated jackpot mandatory day. Everybody loves to get involved. Not an easy sequence either, Ron.
No, we'll have both have tickets in a little while. We'll show you now, and of course they'll be posted online. So we'll see how that plays out. We had a lot of good racing yesterday, and we're going to try and do the same today with this field of 9 races on the card. The first race is going to be 5 furlongs on Topeta. It's a claiming race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races in life. Scratch the number 5, Prism Pool Pat. And Brian has his early pick 5 ticket together, and I'm curious to see this one, Brian.
A lot of bobbing and weaving for me, Ron. He got beat up a little bit by the scratches today. Race number 2, I've got the 5 Modern Beauty at a short number. Race 3, I scratch into the 5, New Life. Race 4, I have the 1 Lost Money on top, always did. And race 5, my long shot is the 1, and that is Mithril. I have a video of that. Of course, race 4 kicks off that big Rainbow 6.
Rainbow 6, and we'll start it off again. A bunch of scratches in the opening leg, so 3 horses, maybe. Probably going to give me all again, once again, I would think, up there. Starting this race right now, My Perfect Lady is currently the 2-1 favorite. Brian, is that where you started your stuff?
Well, I lost my top pick, Ronnie, so I scratch into the 8, and that is Queen Kong on the outside for Debona. Off the claim, that's a big move, 23%. And I really like the cut back here, too. Source ran fine at 2 turns last time, but she was really, really good sprinting on Topeta in her debut. Faced a little too tough, I think, 2 starts back, but now back on a sprint with a perfect outside attack post off the claim for Debona. And, of course, Diego Herrera calling the shots isn't going to hurt at all.
I want to show you a stat on Bobby Debona. Now, this is route to sprint. It's going to be a good number. It's going to be 31 cents. But if you did this for Topeta, this is why this stat comes with a caveat. He's like 9%.
Wow.
When he does route to sprints with Topeta horses. I did it, and I was going to show both, and I said, I'll just talk about it. So there is a difference. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit. Had this horse on top all along. Didn't scratch into it. So
Very
I just
surprising.
wanted to point that out, because when I did both ways, I wanted to show one. I was going to show 2, and I said, I'll just talk about the second one.
I would have actually thought it would have gone the other way. And
No.
you were going to tell me he was about 58%
No,
with this.
no. I think it might even be 8%.
Very interesting. The race she comes out of, now Stella Bianca was both of our best bet
Right.
later in today's card. She scratches, though, unfortunately. But that race that Queen Kong comes out of was a pretty salty group for that kind of level.
The number 3, the number 6 you have in second right now. I mean, and that is, well, we talked about the 8 already. The number 6, My Perfect Lady, will race with the blinkers off after making that middle move, finishing third behind aforementioned, who we're going to talk about on Monday in a minute, for Carlos David. This is incredible. He's 33%.
Yeah.
With the blinkers off. You don't see that a lot.
Not at all. This horse ran well last time. So did Amande. I like the fact that she's outside Amande today, because you see last time she took all the worst of it being inside. Today I think the roles might be reversed a little bit.
Yeah, Amande's going to have to carve out that
Yes.
stalking trip off the speed for Happy Alter and Miguel Vasquez this afternoon. Race number 2 is going to be 5 furlongs on Topeta. It's a maiden event for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We're going to scratch the inside horse, Kim Win, and no Lasix on the number 2. Gotta be Madison. Both Brian and I have the number 5 Modern Beauty on top, and Brian wants to show you a replay of this horse.
Yeah, she ran well. I don't know if she moved too early, or it was just kind of the way it all unfolded in front of her, and there's not a lot of Edgar Perez can do, because she wants to roll here. And Edgar put her on the lead here, and she just got run down. She opened up, and Softly Dreaming is actually the horse that's going to run her down. So you can see she middle moved into the deepest part of the race, and what I mean by that is the quickest part where the real running kind of began. And she opened up, and what happened was Softly Dreaming took advantage of the fact that Modern Beauty had to do a lot of dirty work in the middle of the race, and she nails her on the square here at the line. It's a big effort by Modern Beauty. There's no doubt about it. She is going to be a short number right back, drifting out there. No knocks on her in this, but it's an interesting start.
Yeah, this is third career starts because Victor doesn't start a lot of first-time starters to move him along. He usually plays the claiming game.
Yeah.
13%, way low for him. 39% in the money, 87 cents. I don't know what you read into it because the horse by far ran the best last race in the field. So
without a doubt,
you know, maybe there's a chance this tells you, hey, maybe I can beat this horse a little bit this afternoon. So I just wanted to show stats that we don't normally show all the time. You went right next door with the number 6. This too shall pass. Kent Sweezy is the trainer.
Freshened up a little bit, ran on April 11th. So this is only going to be her second start since December 28th. She's been training very forwardly. 2 bullets for her since she last ran. It's a great post for her. Second time Lasix. Maybe if she's just a little more mature, a little more tougher, she's going to have a big say in here.
Got to be Madison, to me, is the speed. She's going. She's running and gunning. She's going to try and steal this race on the front end. The problem is she's been caught with, wasting that advantage, getting caught late.
That's the problem. She was clear in mid-stretch last time, and she completely stopped. I mean, that when you're a length and a half clear in mid-stretch on Tapeta at 5-1, you got hit by a truck there to be 5th in that race. No Lasix again. Didn't have it last time. Sammy Camacho's going to try to hold her, get her a little bit late. But like you said, Ron, she will be in front here. How long remains to be seen.
Number 4, Scent of Garlic, is a has to a horse called Gabaldon, who we know won the Royal Palm Juvenile and went over and finished over to at Ascot. And finished second in the Windsor Castle and ran an okay third in its debut.
Well, remember we talked about her. With this pedigree, especially as a filly, how are you dangled for 35? That was very, very surprising. It might be more surprising that nobody claimed her. She had a there-off-you-lose kind of trip. To her credit, she passed everybody that she possibly could. She could do no better than third because of what happened at the start. It's a great sign that Tariq Mubarak's going to move her into a spot where now she can't be claimed.
Now I'm going to give you some homework out there, everybody. If you look at that last race, Western Lily won it. Who is in second? The Karamoto, who will be running a little later on today.
Yep.
So if Scent of Garlic wins, maybe you go double down on Karamoto.
Move her up.
Yeah, you move her up a little bit. So I always give you a little homework to do while we're on this show. Race number 3, a mile 70 yards on Tapeta. It's a starter optional claimer for Phillies 3-year-olds. Going to scratch the 1 Brat Garrel, the number 2 Stella Beyonder. That was mine and Brian's best bet of the afternoon. And the number 7 Imperial Blue. So the race to me becomes wide open. We both scratch into the number 5 horse in here, and that is New Life, who's in for the $25,000 tag in the starter optional claimer today.
I would think, Ronnie, she basically auto defaults into a pretty stiff favorite. It's Barboza, it's Camacho, as you mentioned. We're dropping in class, good solid Tapeta form as well, including a win in the second start of her career. Didn't run poorly at all behind I-5 in her last start, who just ran off. We come in a little bit fresh here, hasn't missed a beat really in the morning. She's got 5 works. Clearly, to me now, with the big scratch, she is the horse to beat.
Is there enough speed to help out Turkish Flame? You can look at this horse, very, very consistent, but likes to come from off the pace.
There's no speed in here at all, and it actually might, oddly enough, help Turkish Flame, because I think now this 5-pack is going to be very tight around the track.
Right.
Whereas if they were spaced out more with everybody in here, it would hurt Turkish Flame. I would think she's going to be able to maintain contact with this field early, and that's going to really help her in the lane.
I want to show the number 4, Scarlet's Law, recent win. Was that on the turf?
It was on the turf, but I want to show this. It's actually a great replay to show in light of what we just showed in the last race. Yes, it is on turf, but here's what happens in this spot. Diego Herrera gets just basically pot committed here. His gal's rolling, and he's got to go up into a runoff leader, and he's forced to make the first run here. And we saw it in the last race. The first run doesn't always mean it's the money run. He's got to go up. He's got to do the dirty work. He's got to make first run, and it leaves him vulnerable to everybody behind him. But what happens is she doesn't stop, and this is a really good effort by her, because you could sense the cavalry is coming here as they sat back and let her do the running. But she keeps on keeping on, Ron. Certainly this was a way better race than her Tapeta race was 2 starts back, but it might have just been a breakthrough effort as well. I think you probably should use her on your ticket today.
Yeah, well, that's 5-8-4 for both of us in race number 3. Taking that short break. When we come back for race number 4, of course, it's mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six, and both of us will have tickets we're going to show you.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Well, I think what My Racehorse does is it gives owners an opportunity to get involved in the game.
Very much enjoy sharing the barn visits and those big wins.
Straight no chaser in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
It allows everybody to come together to own a horse, whether you own a micro fraction or you own 50%. It's the same feeling you get when they win.
I'm Dan Blacker.
I'm Sophie Joseph Jr.
I'm Todd Fletcher, a trainer for My Racehorse.
Sees the fray, wins the Preakness.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. If you're just joining us, Fastlane Track All-Weather Tapeta. Next Friday will be turf. We'll talk more about that throughout the day. But mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six kicking in right now. They're estimating $500,000. Hey, they sent it in, as Brian said at the top of the show. They sent it in pretty good last week, so I'm expecting similar situation today.
Not only that did they send it in, but the winners, I believe there were 7 of them,
right.
Maybe 8,
30,
41,000.
41,000. Wow.
Whew.
$41,000. So, hey, that's a nice Sunday afternoon. So let's see if you could do it today. We'll show you my ticket first, $86.40. 1-2-4. They didn't put all today, see?
Wow.
That's good. I like those guys up there. We'll talk about that 4th race. 5th race, 3 deep for me. My top pick is the 3, which I scratched into. That's the Beaster Bunny. We talked a lot about that horse's name yesterday. 3 deep for me in race number 6. The top pick is the horse we also talked about earlier, the 4 Koromoto, but I used a couple other horses. Race number 7, to me, it looks like Giant Teddy or Radar Control, who's been on a tear lately. Race number 8, you went 4 deep in here the other day when I first did my first drafted his ticket because I didn't want to get beat by Golden Valley.
Ow.
But Golden Valley gets scratched, so I added the 7 horse in here. But my top pick, with all that said, is my little bit of a long shot today, and that's Frosty Bell for Colin Maras, 6-1 on the morning line. And then the last, and Brian will tell you when he gets his ticket, you either got to go with Risk or go with 6 horses.
I agree totally. I think Risk is vulnerable. I certainly used him, but I don't love him. My Foolish Notion at 0 for 13, I don't love either. Take a look at mine. I needed to be aggressive, and I'm going to do it in a 3-horse field. It's really a 2-horse field. Atomic Dawn would be a shocker, I think. So, lost money. We'll show you the replay of him. My long shot is in race 5. It's the 1 Mithril. We'll see about that. There's scratches in there. It's going to hurt the price. Race 6, the 2 Happy Feet Hannah on the comeback. Race 7, the 5 Radar Control. We're going to show you replays of the 2 big favorites, Radar Control and Giant Teddy. But don't sleep on Rachel's Coach. I threw that one in at the last second because the flow might help Rachel's Coach. Just the 2 favorites for me, at least in the morning line. 6-7 in race number 8. That's the order. And I'm not buying the favorites in race 9, so I'm getting a little bit off the mark there. I've got 9-8. Those are my first 2. Friday Night Light in advance. Both of them will be very square prices. What a weird ticket. $72, Rob.
$72. Oh, 72. That's what my grandfather used to say when they played bingo. So, 4th race. You guys, lost money might be a good way. You want to show the race?
I want to show the race, but it's the race.
3 back, right?
3 back, because this horse has got a lot of talent. He gets completely blown up at the start, and not a lot Jose Morelos can do here. You're going to see it coming up right here. There's the sandwich. That is no good. That's for sure. Then we're going to fast forward. I feel like it's middle move Sunday here on Gulfstream today. Well, here's the middle move right here. We're going to try to swoop. And, oh, by the way, this is Curlin, Florida Derby Day. So you know darn well this is one salty maiden special weight race. Sovereign Law in there. And
Ovechkin was pretty good, even though he's a big price.
Yep. So what happens? He just completely hits the wall because of what he had to do. Now, in his subsequent 2 starts, I will readily admit lost money has not been very good at all. I get it. I understand it. But now the blinkers go on. Just 2 rivals. One of them's way out of his element here. And I'm hoping the blinkers, A, keep him in the race earlier on, but B, give him a little more focus off the far turn. And C, Hayden remembered he's fine. Don't get me wrong, but he's no great shakes either.
He's no great shakes. I gave him the tepid call when I
Yeah.
was doing. That's when there was 6 horses in the race. He's stretching out to the mile. He took the overland route. He was a little wide last time out when he rallied wide to finish second, going 7 furlongs. What I liked about this horse was the horse waking up at double-digit odds in its last 2 races. So here's the hot horse, and one was on the all-weather surface and one was on the main track. So the horse shows to me got a little bit of ability, can run on either surface, has a bullet work, 5 furlong work coming in. I'll be with only 6 horses, but I think this horse is running well. I don't know where he sits now with the scratches in this race.
This is a jockey's race as much as it is a horse race, and he does get all the best of it being, we talked about it yesterday, there was a scratch-riddled 3-horse field. You draw outside, you get all the best of it here. We'll have to see. There's going to be a lot of chess going. He gets the move to Diego Herrera today, too.
Race 5 is going to be 5.5 furlongs. Nice full field. It's a claiming race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. My top pick was the 8 Sweet Agenda. Out, scratched into the 3. The Beast of Bunny. Brian, what did you pick? And do you want to show the replay first?
Take it away with the replay, because the Beast of Bunny was 3rd behind Sweet Agenda. My long shot, Mithril, is 4th. Jayana doing what she always does, picking up a piece or 2 at 1 for 26. Mithril is my long shot. Clearly, Ron's got the horse to beat. There's no doubt about it. But Mithril, for the first time off the claim for Bo Chapman in 4 starts, and for the first time in 5 overall starts, she actually showed like just maybe she still feels like being a racehorse. And what happened? It was her first start on the main track. She was outside in a field of 10. She draws better today. She doesn't need to be on the lead, so I'm not too worried about the rail. And here she is down the crown of the track, not making any giant late progress, but she's showing interest. And I think that's important, Ron. I think she can move forward off this race, and I'm not scared of anyone. And even though with the big scratch of the 8 Sweet Agenda, she still should be a square price in here.
Well, we saw that race. I don't know, you, Brian, you looked at these replays really well. And Beast of Bunny's wheeling back. It says it got squeezed back at the quarter pole in that race when finishing 3rd, ahead behind Sweet Agenda, who we just showed that race was scratched out, of course, this afternoon. Does she improve with that clean trip today?
Yeah, I mean, we just watched it. I didn't see a lot going on.
I didn't see it. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see a lot going on either in that race. And also, I wanted to ask you about the horse. We both have it second after the scratches. And you might have had this horse in second all the time. Zany Lady is going back to the main track after failing to mount the rally against Tougher, sprinting on the all-weather surface for the one and only Kathleen O'Connell. Who also trains the Beast of Bunny, has Diego Rivera on this one.
Yeah, so Kathleen's got 2 heavy hitters in here. I would assume this horse is a pretty heavy favorite, especially with the scratch of Sweet Agenda. But she could be vulnerable, too. She's got the huge figure in her maiden win on the main track. That's great. It was in the slop. Her other 2 races, one of which was in the slop, were dreadful. So I don't know what to make of her, but with Herrera aboard, she's certainly a huge player, and the post helps her too.
You know, and the dyslexic angle here, they instead of Jose Morelos riding the 3, Morales, it's Jose Morelos. So just 2 letters flip-flop. I do it all the time, so I can understand it completely. That's the number 3 going to be ridden by Jose Morelos. So make sure you mark that down, not Morales.
I'm on it.
You got it?
I
You
got
marked it
it.
down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Noted.
Race 6 this afternoon is 5 1/2 furlongs on Tapeta. It's a maiden claimer, and it's some fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Field of 7 going to the post for a final pick 4 of the afternoon. Brian's got Happy Feet, Hannah. Nice price of 9-2 here with the apprentice Pedro Pena in the saddle.
Who just keeps doing good things. Hasn't been out since September 6th. Has really worked forwardly for Fernando Abreu. Blinkers on, Lasix on, weight off. A good solid tab, and maybe a vulnerable favorite in the Coromoto, who's clearly the horse to beat. This is an admitted stab, Ron.
Yeah, but, you know, you look at that race, you know, Lenny Lou won it. That's when Lenny Lou was good, and they went the next race, won the Hollywood Beach.
Yes.
So that was a good performance by a pretty tough group, you know, on the main track, which is important. Now, talking about the Coromoto and winning defense, you want to show that replay.
I want to show the replay, and the Coromoto is clearly the horse to beat in here. And it's not that she ran poorly, but I didn't think she was great either. She's 2-1. This is a good trip here. We're 2-path kind of stalking and now pressing and now leading over Western Lily, who was 8-1 and was nowhere she won. So I thought maybe the Coromoto was supposed to go by. This race held together. They went very quick. It was the first start back on Tapeta. Like I said, I don't really want to knock it, but you would think at 2-1 she would have went by there. There's some weird things going on, though, the race within the race here. Winning factor is going to close late. I think she's got a lot of upside for Fox. The other thing is, and I get that they're different owners, Ronnie, Barbosa's also going to run Ignis Corp off the claim today.
Yeah, well, I liked a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have a
spot,
problem
you know.
with her. I've got her in the mix.
Yeah, you have to use. She moves to the barn after the claim. West Blinkers, solid 5th place finish, sprinting on the grass. The barn. Let's show you a stat. Let's first finish talking about that horse, Ignis Corps. You know, Diego Herrera atop this half of the young couple entry. But what about? I wanted to show you stat on winning defense, who was actually 4th in that race. Closed a little bit. Now this is David Fawkes, second career starts, sprinters. He's 27%, and he's got a positive return of investment.
Yeah.
So
A huge
just
return
wanted to
of
point
investment.
that out.
This is the horse. I put her in second. I think she's got a lot of upside, and I think she's going to run a lot better today.
Sammy Camacho will be in the saddle there in race number 6. So we got stats, we got replays in race number 6, trying to help you out this afternoon. Race number 7, 5 on the all-weather surface, allowance optional claimant for 3-year-olds and up, who have never won $20,000 other than maiden claiming or starter. And we have 2 horses we want to show you in 2 different races. And you're starting it off. You talked a lot about radar control yesterday. And let's see that couple of performances for this. Oh, we'll see one of them.
This is a mind-blowing win right here. This is a speed horse, and watch what happens to the speed horse. You want to talk about they're off, you lose, Ron? This is the definition of that. Breaks slow and then checks back. Where are you? Radar control. This is a pure speed horse. And now, look where he is, and look what he does. Where did Sticky McSchnickens run?
Third.
Third? Okay, of course he ran third.
Second or third.
Yeah. Look at this loop job by Radar Control. This is a horse that ran off the screen early on the Tapeta 2 starts back to win really, really impressively. This horse was left for dead at the start, and he was so much the best. Pete's call was basically just completely agreed with me, and he was so over the top with it because this is an epic performance by Radar Control. My only worry is, does he come back a little bit from what was so astronomically taxing, I would assume. I was blown away by it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to use them on your ticket. But I flip-flopped and we went with Giant Teddy. So let's show that race here. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Maybe drifted a little.
Really, really good. But Ronnie did mention something. He drifted a little bit, and he did have to work very hard. The problem is this is a 3-course field here, and he had to work a little. You look at the running line in this race, and he's a length clear at the pace call early. He had to work a lot harder than that. This course, I think we were talking to Pete after this race. It was like this course was actually value at 1-2 in this spot. As weird as that sounds,
3-horse field.
3-horse field. Yeah, he's going to have to run better today, but I still think he's the horse to beat with those 2 big figures in his last 2. He's away from Fox. He's off the claim today for Fernando Abreu. Good to see Pete and Powder Pop back in the entries here.
Let's see a stat with Fernando Abreu. First off the claim, and he is on Tapita. He's solid. He's 21%, 46% in the money. Diego Herrera will be in the saddle. So, Giant, I wanted to ask you, too, about the number 2 horse in here. That is Walking in Memphis. And this is one of 2 in the field for Laura Cesares. Moves to a barn after the claim, cuts back to a sprint, showed speed going long. Jose Morelos. This one sticks the trip behind the speed today.
I would think he'll be aggressive early, and they're different owners, but Laura's got the one Rachel's coach too.
Right.
Assuming radar control breaks today, the 5 and the 6, and maybe even the 2 are going to go wild early on. Don't sleep on Rachel's coach, Ronnie.
Rachel's coach, the other Laura Cesares. Race number 8 this afternoon is 7 furlongs. It's an allowance for state-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And we have a scratch in here of the morning line favorite. That's Golden Valley. And I always had the number 6 on top and the number 4 on top, Frosty Bell, who's stretching out to 7 after finishing a 5-wide third behind a much the best winner that day, Floco, going 6.5. And I thought she might be worth the flyer at a little bit of a price.
I think she will be a price. You love Floco that day, and she didn't disappoint. That's for sure. Going to have to answer a little bit of a class call today because the win was for 17-5, 2 back. Maybe, though, Ron, she bounced a little bit off that big win, too. And now with the scratch, certainly, of Golden Valley, I think it widens this race a little bit.
Now we could show you, we're going to show a couple of replays, actually, here. The first one is going to be Don't Do It, Lucy, the horse that Brian has on top. Just pick it up, I think, far turn to the wire.
Yeah, I scratch into her. I did like Golden Valley quite a bit in this spot. But this is a big run. Now, where you been, Don't Do It, Lucy? That bugs me a little bit because this would have been the Thursday of Curl and Florida Derby week. This is a nice win, though. When you can shut off as a first-time starter and run down a loose leader in Storm the Point, Sweet City runs second in this race. This is a really good effort, and she did it on the square here, beating a 4-5 favorite who got first run a little bit. Don't Do It, Lucy has trained pretty big for this. It looks like she missed a lot of time, though, between May and June. She's got 3 straight works now, including that 36 flat. That was a really, really good work. I would assume if she's not the favorite, she'll be right there with Sweet Dream Lady. You can't play a real ticket without her, that's for sure.
And, you know, that race, and that was all the way back in March, produced a couple of next out winners. So it was a really good race, like you said, during the meat of the championship meet. So we'll see how that plays out. The other one we want to show is the horse that Brian has in second, and that's Sweet Dream Lady. And another one where we're going to pick it up on the far turn.
And another one off the claim for Laura Cazares. And she's got 2 in the 7th race, 1 here in the 8th race. We get Diego Herrera aboard here. This is a good effort here by Sweet Dream Lady. Did get set up a little bit. Herrera was just basically biding his time, and that could be the trip that she pulls again today. This is a good outside draw for her, coming in off a win. It was for 17-5, so she kind of looks a little bit like Frosty Bell in that she needs to step up a little bit. The scratch is going to help her. A really top jock is as well, and I would assume Sweet Dream Lady is a big, big player in here, Ron.
What about our old buddy who's making his 25th start, and that is Gervin Star for Marcial Cornejo. Comes out of that state-bred allowance race where it finishes second, going 6.5 furlongs.
This is why I'm not in love with that race or with Frosty Bell or Gervin Star. She doesn't look like a huge player in here. The scratch is going to help both of those gals. But that race was all Floco. I picked Frosty Bell in that race, and she was wildly disappointing to me.
Well, that is race number 8. Well, we have one more to go here, race number 9, and it is 1 mile and 1/16 on the all-weather surface. Maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up, ended the day with a nice full field of 10 in there. And Brian's top pick, as he mentioned, got a couple of price plays in here with the number 9. Friday Night Light and the number 8 Advance.
They're very similar to being the same horse. They're both prices, as Ronnie said. I don't like either of these favorites in here. In the 9 Friday Night Light and the 8 Advance, look at the sires, look at the pedigrees. By City of Light and by Rushy. They've only run one turn of late. Advance has only run once. It was a sprint. I would assume getting back to 2 turns is going to move both these horses up, and they're both prices.
I'll tell you why I like Risk. He drops to the 12.5 level, I should say, and races without blinkers after chasing the pace and fading against those 35 maidens going 8.5 furlongs on the all-weather surface. I mentioned this a little earlier in the card. Carlos David, 33% with the blinkers off. He's got Diego Herrera named to ride. I thought this was the horse to beat in here.
I think this is a favorite. I don't know. Could you run a little bit last time? I mean, they're trying to give this horse away, and now we're at the bottom. Returns in a special weight, 35 last time. Probably the most likely winner in the race, though.
Let's show the replay of My Foolish Notion, who set the pace that day.
So you're 2-1. You're the favorite, and you are freewheeling to the far turn over a very meek group of 12.5s. And you're still freewheeling and clear in mid-stretch. And as the 2-1 favorite, you run third? That just doesn't say I want to come back to this horse today, Ron. And Herbie Miller's on a good run, and he was on a good run on June 13th when this horse ran. So I think this is just, like I said, I think the favorites are very, very vulnerable, even though they're very, very likely to be 2 stiff favorites at post time. And nothing I see here says I want to come back to this horse.
Well, to me, it looks like this horse could be the speed of the speed.
Just
here.
like he was last time.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, not anybody challenges him. Maybe you use a horse like Captain and Pike for Anistar Ochoa. He's getting the weight break of 10 pounds. This horse likes to run late. If that speed, like we just showed, comes back, maybe this horse grabs a little share at a big price. I got him at the horse in third, looking for a price in my Trier Super. You got Vladimir Rengrifo on the saddle, and as I mentioned, a 10-pound apprentice.
He's on my ticket. He's the 5th horse I use. He's about as fast as the 2 favorites, albeit last year.
Right.
Yeah, he's a scary comebacker here.
Well, that's the 9 for us on mandatory payout Sunday, the end of the fiscal year. And if you're confused about that, Brian's going to have a little something on Twitter later explaining exactly what Florida's up to. And we will now go to the lightning round.
We got a lot to get through here. It's a mandatory Sunday, as we talked about. That's going to be race number 4, estimated at $500,000. They always deliver for us. They always send it in on these Sundays.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Very races 4 through 9, and we'll get a couple of replays we want to show you, too.
How good was this horse? This was Carrie's Kiss, first start for Safi.
Put the blinkers on him.
Yeah, in the musical Romance. We're going to watch this replay. If you watched the race, you would have thought she was 2-5, not her stablemate, Indy Bay, because Carrie's Kiss and Edwin Gonzalez was just really always dominating this race, and it was actually doing it well within herself, too. This is a really now exciting newcomer for Safi, and boy, did she move way up off those Oaklawn 2-turn races.
Then we have, this one, Langvad, who's named for Safi's assistant, Sabine, and this horse outlooked everybody.
Yeah, you
coming
said
up. So it just outlooked everybody in the walking ring and walking up here before they put the tack on.
So we worried, or at least I did. I think maybe you were a little more forgiving than I was, in that the Lasix was the real move up for Langvad in his last start. Not the case at all. In Wayne's Law, sorry, buddy. No bueno for him. He's a little bit of a fraud.
Yeah, it looks like he's not what we thought he might be.
Correct.
So whatever that is. Turf.
Can't wait. Friday. 9-race card, 4 turf races. The cool thing, too, is that we're going to stretch the 2-year-olds. There's a maiden special weight at 7.5. I love that. We've been waiting. We were out there. Ronnie was inspecting it with his ruler and his measuring sticks. We got a video. The turf, Tony and the crew, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks really nice out there. Can't wait for that to come back. Always fun. My favorite kind of betting and racing. And, of course, the big news on July 13th is going to be Monday racing.
That's the July 13th, the first of 8 straight Monday races. July 11th, we're going to have a lot of new wagers kicking off. Can't wait for that. We're doing some videos. We'll talk about that in the ensuing days. But Monday, July 13th, and we're terming it Mandatory Monday because every Monday there will be a payout in the Rainbow Six. I'm all for it, Ron.
Yep, that's the 9 for us. We're going to turn it over to. Oh, we got our best bet in long shots. What's your best bet today?
We both lost our best bet.
Oh, that's right. Long shots we've got.
Yeah, Mithril to me in the Rainbow on the dirt in race 5.
And I have in race number 8, the 4, Frosty Bell, trying to get 6-1 in there. I just like the fact that taking the blinkers off for Abundant excels with that move.
Sure does.
We'll see how that works out. So that's it. Now we'll turn it over to Pete Aiello with all the scratches and changes.
At the Thoroughbred Aftercare